Welcome to Subramani. A few days back, I had asked a question on Twitter. For those who don't follow me on Twitter may not have seen this question. And I asked, why do older people, say above 55, struggle with spending their money even though they know that they have enough and their children are doing well and don't need their money? I mean, a 70-year-old with 60 lakhs of interest and dividend income and spending about 50,000 a month, which means spending about 6 lakhs a year, but does not like to spend his money. I mean, is very scared as a family, as a husband and wife, to spend their money. So I had asked why. Of course, I got some frivolous answers saying, oh, it is their money, let them do whatever they want. Of course, they will do whatever they want. I am not here to give them gyan as to what they are doing. It is more a curiosity question as to why do people accumulate money if it is not to spend on themselves. Right, very different from the American way of thinking that the last check that I give should be to the underwriter, and after that there should be nothing, and even if the underwriter check bounces, it's okay because he can't catch me, right? We don't have that attitude. We can't imagine that we issue a check whether dead or alive, that I can't even imagine me issuing a check and going away and the check bouncing. It just can't happen, right? So we will not allow that, and we will not die a pauper. I don't think any of us, I mean, many of us watching this channel, accidentally, if something happens and you lose money, it's a different thing, but chances are we will all leave something for the children. Question of whether we will leave 10 lakhs or 1 crore or 100 crores is a different thing, but something we will leave for our children, right? So I just asked this question, not so much in jest, but to find out why people don't spend. And so, very interesting questions. One person says because they were young, they had to struggle to make ends meet, and they have not forgotten that experience. Do not ridicule them, respect them. I am not ridiculing them, nor am I saying it is something great. I know one person, when he died, he would not travel on in private transport. He would take a bus, he would do all that, and he had saved some 5-6 lakhs of rupees, and he died in an old age home. His sons came from US, did the funeral. He was alone, his wife had died earlier. His sons came and said it will be too much of a hassle for us to take this money, 5 lakhs doesn't matter, and they gave it as a charity to the organization where he was staying, where the old man was staying. So it's not as though the money mattered to the children. So why would you save and worry so much about money when you know that the children are doing well? That is my question. So then there is Umesh Ike, who says they are not used to spend. 50 saal ki aadat is what he said. Then one Captain SK said, can you give expenses list for a 55-year-old husband and wife with kids, independent and settled, with about 60 lakhs? If you have only 60 lakhs, it's going to be very difficult, but I'm sure Captain means you have a pension, so I think that can take care of. But ultimately you have to choose what you want to spend on, right? I can't choose whether you should eat vegetarian, not eat non-vegetarian, or whether you should drink, not drink, smoke. None of my business. So you have to make your own list. I'm not here to make that list. And so Balaji Totadri says it's the basic frugality which is ingrained so deeply that it is difficult to spend. One can actually afford it. Completely, I agree with you. It's largely a habit which has been formed over 30, 40, 50 years, whatever, and therefore they find it difficult to spend their money. Then there is Abhishek, who says, my 75-year-old aunt, despite having a pension and a few crores in the bank, jewelry, rental income, refuses to enjoy life. Here, this is the language which I don't understand, because when you say enjoy life, for them enjoying life does not mean spending, right? So there are people who say, yeah, I am enjoying my life. If your hobby is running, you are not spending much. But if your hobby is golf, you're spending money. If your hobby is even badminton, you're buying a shuttle. If your hobby is cycling, you're not spending much money. If your hobby is mountaineering or climbing mountains or trekking, you're not spending much money. So depending even on your hobby. So you can't say a runner is not enjoying himself because he's not spending money on running, or he's not going to Antarctica to run, or he's not going to Africa to run, or he's not going to Kenya to run, right? He's not going everywhere and running, but it does not mean that he's not enjoying his running near his house. So I don't think enjoying and spending has any connection, but they don't spend even on comforts. Even if they go by Airlines, if they travel by air, they may not take the services of somebody like a meet and greet or something. So of course the cheaper option in India is to take a wheelchair. So if somebody does everything, then crib that the wheelchair was not available. It won't be available. If every 55-year-old decides to take a wheelchair to save themselves the convenience of picking up the baggage and putting it back, obviously there is going to be a greater demand for wheelchairs than there is supply. Again, Mr. Gupta says they found such an habit, and to change habits is hard, etc., etc. Financial situation may change in life, mindset usually doesn't change. This is a good one. And also the fear that suddenly in their old age, if they require a lot of money for nursing, this is something which is true, because nursing and old age care even at home can cost you 1.5 lakhs as of today. So if a 60-year-old is today worried, he should be worried, because at the age of 80, when he needs it, it would be 4-5 lakhs a month. So then yes, you could require a lot of money for old age care. That I agree. As Charlie Munger says, I didn't mean to get rich, I just overshot. That's true, but then you should, some basic changes in life you will have to make. Don't take the cheapest possible taxi, take a slightly better taxi, use a taxi which with courteous drivers, etc. If it costs a little more, so be it, right? I feel it is not about numbers, it's about mindset. Older generation grew up in a time when economic uncertainty was the norm. Saving more than spending was a survival strategy. Self-worth was tied to frugality and sacrifice. Even with 60 lakhs annual income, it's hard to unlearn decades of habits. Money isn't just about maths, it's deeply emotional. I agree. And then best in life happens when we start giving. Boss, don't give all this gyan. I'm not asking whether they are giving, whether they are not giving. Maybe they are giving more than they are spending on themselves. I would like to be this person when I'm 60, frugal mindset, spending is a habit and so is saving. It is simple, we all grew from a scarcity mindset, same thing. Warren Buffett finds immense joy in creating wealth. I am not talking of Buffett kind of wealth, right? So Buffett can have a good standard of living and increase his wealth. Gigantic waste of time. They spend all their lifetime to build that wealth and then they just throw it away by not using what you paid for with your time. Is a disrespect for your time. It's their call, right? So you have no business saying what they should do. I'm just asking, why do they do that? That's all. Due to combination of ingrained habits among my parents and in-laws, I've observed that this has become a habit. They're used to saving. They don't know how to spend. Possible. I know somebody who's 84 with 100 crore but still will go buy a share cab. Yeah, I know a 65-year-old with almost 100 crores of net worth will go and stay in a hotel which costs maybe 3,000 rupees a night in a city where good hotels are available at 20,000 a night. Can you not stay in a 8,000 rupee night room? They can, but they don't. Right, saving 60 lakhs after ensuring all his children are well settled must have not been easy. No, he's not saved 60 lakhs, his income is 60 lakhs, read it right. Sounds like they have achieved what they want. How and where to spend, they don't know where to spend. This is a middle class syndrome. Because Indian businesses don't cater them, infrastructure isn't designed to suit. Mostly they are in their homes, or if they go out to, society says go on a pilgrimage. You have no clue of what 6-year-olds are doing, boss. Because it's limited time, dopamine hit, don't understand the power of habit. Don't underestimate the power of habit, I agree. Scarcity mindset, anxiety, insecurity, low confidence, cognitive decline, all this contribute to it in old age. Even when financially secure, as people get older, they want to keep things simple. We squander very easily, buy expensive car, etc. Santana Krishnan says, depends on the individual. My father definitely spends on his and my mother's comfort nowadays compared to 20 years ago. Yeah, some of us do, many of us don't. R. Subramaniam says, one should have good health to spend. At this age, one of the spouses may have some health issues. A 72-year-old couple might have seen a lot. India has taken a leap front in the last 1 or 2 decades. Difficult to acquire new habits at 72. I have so much to say on this topic that I rather don't. Yes, a human needs to stay away from attachments. Well, Sanjukta says, lifelong habit. Same. Once you are used to living a frugal life, it becomes difficult to spend. What you call a struggle may not be a struggle at all for him. I completely agree. He may not like to be the guy who is spending. Yeah, largely saying it's a habit which they are unable to change, but at least for basic comforts, getting yourself a good servant, spending money on the children's education. I mean, your servants' children's education, buying them a iPad, giving them away a used laptop, buying yourself a new used laptop, school books, school bags, school fees. It doesn't kill you, right? So doing all those expenses, some of them do, many of them don't, because they are going to be more useful than your children were in some faraway location, maybe Australia, New Zealand, Canada, wherever. If they are not going to be available, it is your maid servant and your husband who are going to help you during a crisis. So sharing some of your wealth with them also makes sense, but spending on yourself is what here I am talking about. So simple life restrictions, it is an age-old function. Excellent question. I've asked myself this question as I see my parents not spending even though everything is well settled, right? I also know somebody who gets dividends, rentals, almost 5 lakhs per month, and he still doesn't spend beyond 50k for himself. Yeah, I think it's about habit, it's about not wanting to spend, it's about being scared that in older age, when you're 65, you don't know how long you will live. So maybe you live till 85, and that time you might need a lot of care and all that. So that is why people don't spend. I don't find any thing to worry about. So find out how much you need. Let's say your expenses are 6 lakhs a year, so which means you need about 1.8 crores. Plus you keep 1 crore for medical, so you need 2.8 crores. And if it is reasonably well managed, you will have an excess after this also. So if you have 10 crores, after this 3 crores which you have initially kept away, which is 2.8 crores, after that what is available, you should be willing to spend. That's been my argument. Thank you.